higher than you've ever been.
Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day. Let's go right into the charts, shall we? Bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. So we got this rejection on the 618 on this 12-hour candle here. We fell back in, tried to get back up out of it, got rejected, and this indecision doji, and we're starting to within the last 9 minutes of this new candle start to come down a little bit more on the 12-hour here. We'll get into what the oscillators look like a little bit later, but this is just the diagonal fib level of the 618. Are we going to come down to a level down below to the 0.5? It's not out of the realm of possibility, as the 4-hour and 6-hour are overbought. However, let's look at the liquidity before we make that decision. What happened to my thing? It's gone. I didn't hit delete, but it's gone. Here we go. All right. So here we go. What is the heat map? Well, it's when people leave their liquidity in the charts to be burnt to a crisp by the market maker for not using a stop loss. So let's see who did that today and got burnt to a crisp. So with the rise to the upside earlier today with Asia, we did see these $118 million characters alongside some 50x get burnt, and the pump was short-lived and Hong Kong faded it to the downside onto these 100x little bubbles and 50x bubbles here. We just currently bounced off of a 100x bubble down at 27.33. 50x at 97 million. We are currently more broth to the downside, although we do have a thick cluster of noodles to be slurped up right here. If we can get past this sparse noodle stuff, there are a lot of pools building to that region we highlighted over the last 2 days. Let's go ahead and look at it. This is the 1 minute time frame, by the way. So you have this $245 million pool at 25x, which is underwater currently as they shorted down here. And you have some 118 million, 107 million, and 115 million, and 115 million here that are reopening. So you have these pools starting to preclude yourself to the idea of 28.5 region, just this little cluster of stacked liquidity up here. While we do have stuff down below, we have to look to the higher time frame to see if that adds up to more than what is currently to the upside, which is negative 11 billion in short liquidity on the 1 minute time frame. So let's go expand our vision to the higher time frame, shall we? Booyah. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's quite fun scalping the 10-second of NASDAQ. NASDAQ has more volume in 5 minutes than Bitcoin does in a day, especially during the New York session. I was just doing London a little bit, getting warmed up for New York on the new accounts. Still managed to do 500 each. Come on, let's load, shall we? You have to be consistent on the old accounts too, so we are building a profit margin well above what is required to pass, so we expect to pass this week. All right, so you got about $20 billion down here to 26.3 on the 7-day time frame, and you got pretty much the even Steven case to build up to 28.65. However, it looks like you have a little bit more in the immediate. However, overall, you have a larger pool beckoning to the upside as there are more shorts open than longs. Interesting to note on the 7-day time frame as we expand to the monthly. Okay, we were talking about this the other day. The monthly just needs a hop, skip, and a jump down here to grab about 30 billion in long liquidity below 27 if it takes out these lows, and there's a large amount below that, not nearing double digits, but if it spiked down below, that would grab a fair amount. Whereas if you go to the upside, there is sparse liquidity as this drop to the downside took it out. So it needs to rebuild in shorts, but the price to the upside is starting to be paved. But with the current price as we stand, this 27K seems to be a juicier target on this time frame as the narrative shifts on the monthly to the downside. Same with this 3-month, as we were having you back in Sunday with this pool being popped to the upside, showed an express interest of larger long liquidity, which we started to retrace back into. Are we going to continue down into the 25K region? There is $100 billion down there to suggest it, as is the 200 billion and the 22K and sub 19K as well. Expanding ourselves to the 6-month. By the way, this is a $70 per month subscription, which we share for you for free. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to get this content for free, continuing to every day about High Block. So as we see, the pools to the upside are being paved. However, we still have a large amount lurking below, all the way down to 13.5. So this idea of the retrace may not be over just yet. Yearly time frame is where it starts to get interesting, because these pools to the upside start to shift a narrative idea to beckoning to the upside. So as we come down to this, there could be a building of shorts, which they come back to in similar fashion as they did back here March 10th. So are we coming to 25K? Could be the case. Let's go back to the monthly time frame where it shows different ideas down here. So let's go back to the charts and back to some regular fibs and price action on the Binance chart. Okay, so did I delete that by mistake? I must have. It's all good, we can put it back again. So on the bullish trend-based fib extension level, if you hold, oh there it is, it just reappeared random. Alright, so on the bullish trend-based fib extension level is at this, coinciding with this 2 region here. Let's just say it's around this region at 26.6 area. So this 26.550 region could be some, oh shit, sorry, I just hit my coffee. Thankfully I have a waterproof keyboard for that. Oopsie. So give me this off here, sorry about that. After the live, shall we? Let's just leave that there to soak. Alright, so this 786 region could be a bouncing level. If we come down to the 26.550 region, that could be an idea to find some support or divergence to bounce off of if we come down to that region. The current idea we were having earlier was if we could come up to that pool above, that may or may not still be an option. Currently we've gotten rejected. This is False Move Monday. They do a lot of fake outs to both sides to keep people guessing for this direction of the week. So that seems to be the continued idea for right now. And if we look to lower time frames, let's see what the 6 hour is saying. Okay, let me move this for right now. Alright, so the bearish trend-based fib extension level is from this impulse to the downside of the retrace up here, and we currently got rejected at the 1382 and are attempting to come back down for the second time to the 1618 at 27339. So we're basically range trading between here in essence for the time being. Okay, and we're trying to reclaim this external 706 region, which we have not forgotten about. Okay, so I think we can turn on our heads up display. Let's do that. Oops, we already had it on. There we go. So this also happens to be trapped within the weighted and the adaptive. We have reclaimed the adaptive and we have that crossover event on Momentum Master What is Momentum Master? Go look at the link in the description for more. Scroll down to features, toggle all this stuff like the baselines for more information. So currently the 6 hour, we saw that cascade from the 4 hour to a cross up idea, which was why we were looking for that burst earlier this morning for the long, even though we meandered around and played some games around daily close. Is this going to maintain bullish until it breaks the baseline and the baselines come above the price? Similar to this situation here, we are not necessarily looking to short just yet, myself personally. So we can look at the 6 hour as overbought here though, and is this going to get pinned as the 12 hour tries to make a climactic idea occur? Is the 12 hour going to roll over on you here as the 4 hour attempts to reset? load properly. There we go. So we're at the bottom of the Keltner channels on the 12 hour. Could we come down and wick into these levels which we suggested? It's not necessarily out of the question with that 27K pool of 40 billion or so, 50 billion down below these lows. This could get spicy as it goes down and gets suppressed by something. The suppression looks to be coming from the battle between the lower time frames and these medium time frames. So the 4 hour is the thing battling the 12 and the 6. The 6 and the 4 are battling the 12 right now by the looks of it. And we have this money flow above the RSI and this coming down. So this could dump on you hardcore, this 4 hour time frame. It's all about whether it maintains this momentum or not. Currently, as of this moment, you are holding the baseline ever so slightly, and this cross-up event is still valid. And you had this buyback of this candle. Can we see if this candle is objectively bullish or not? We can take a fib tool from wick to wick. Wick is there. Oops, it should go in the direction of momentum. Sorry about that. From here to here. And if the body falls within the 382 region, then that is objectively a hammer. So this 4 hour hammer is objectively true as a bullish symbol to a reversal to that pool, and this would also coincide with a W formation. So are we going to see that play out? That is the question. The cloud is mighty thick, so getting beyond this daily resistance slash cloud slash this pool here seems to add up with the stacked pools of liquidity that they are adding here ever so subtly. The 115, the 118, the 107, the 245 all together. You have this $500 million waiting to be grabbed as they slurp up to that zone, if that is the case. So we're still money eyes on the prize at this point up here, perhaps looking to the 4 hour. Is it going to get flipped by the hourly time frame? Let's look at how the hourly lines up with that. We could turn on the higher time frame stochastic here and see how the interactions are playing out. The higher time frame for the hourly is the 4 hour. So as we look here, the fuchsia and the aqua is the 4 hours trying to suppress the hourly from playing out. If this starts to curve up in a manner like this, and these also kind of push it up, you could see the 30-minute and the hourly kind of push the 4 hour and curve this ever so slightly. You'd have to look for that hourly close. There's no volume stepping in just yet. We did have a large selling volume, and how we absorb that is the key here as we enter into New York. We can turn this off now. The hourly plus the 30 and lower time frames could curve the 4 hour here with the 12 hour subtle support. Let's get out of this and look to the dollar. So the dollar's been chilling in this channel like so, kind of hanging out in this channel, looking to possibly break out further. Let's erase this. Didn't happen just yet. So you got the 4 hour low, the hourly low, the 15-minute wants to come down. You could be SR flipping this. This is a inverted head and shoulders idea, complex if it might be, but you kind of got this idea potential for that rounded bottom. The daily is getting high, but the 3-day and the weekly just in your favor. Let's get rid of these lines. I don't like too many lines on my chart that are not from the indicators. Let's see. So you did get that cross up event, and you're starting to see that kind of inverted head and shoulder idea, if I'm being honest, which would cause Bitcoin to dump if the dollar pumps. Let's look at the ES, and you're getting that extended M formation idea here, as you got the cross down event on the daily, and the daily is oversold, but you do have the 3-day overbought as you do the weekly, and that cross down event with a massive sell-off here. So let's go to that 4-hour time frame. So this is the futures contract, so we have yet to see the gap down, so this will likely gap down today to come back to this equilibrium level that we were talking about before. So they could come back into these regions, but you're oversold on the 4-hour here on but the Williams is highly overbought. You're getting a little bit of bearish divergence on the price action with the momentum starting to potentially fade if you haven't already gotten, oops. Let's go back to BCC real quick. So if you're getting that rejection here, basically what you want to look for right now is this failure of the baseline, and then you come back to the next one if that's the case. If this starts to dump out, the Williams is in your favor for a long though, so the pinning idea could be in effect with the amount of momentum you still have to give on the Williams here on the 4-hour, and that objective bullish candle of it says it's a stopping volume based on it being blue here, so we'll see. This was a green candle, this is a blue one. Asia brought some, is this an accumulation idea? Accumulation from London. Is New York gonna send it? Who knows? Let's go back to the hourly. It's all about how the hourly and the 30-minute curve this 4-hour right now. So can the 4-hour be turned by the hourly and the 30-minute? That is the question. That immediate stacked pool that we talked about here with the 245 here plus the 160 million here plus the 100 million plus the 118 plus the 115 plus this little $115 million character suggests a narrative to grab this at least. I'm not relenting on that because I don't see it below on this time frame. The only thing that suggests to me otherwise is this monthly time frame here that they would come down to this. However, I would want to stop out these guys before I attack this, so you go up to go down and you go down to go up. So we could have already gone down to go up, knocking out all of the pools here and the 100x in particular. So let's go back and show you that on that free indicator, which shows you the liquidation points. And we pointed this out in the Discord. A lot of these 50x got knocked out here. These long bubbles got liquidated as we retraced into this region. So you do see more opening up, of course, but overall you have larger shorts right here and stacking up to this region. Could the narrative be to grab this? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I will take your requests and bid you adieu. I don't want to spend so much time on this, but this is just an idea I'm seeing, which you would look for, and these alerts would come to your phone for these scalping opportunities. Let's see what you guys have for me in the chat. Booyah! What's up, Nico? Prehab, welcome. Shout out to all of you. So let's go ahead and take a look. Somebody was looking at Matic earlier. Let's take a look at Matic. Matic also making that W formation. Let's remove some drawings here. Everything's at an ambiguous level. It's all about the hourly's play, which is already underway. The curvature of the cloud, you would have to break above it and once again see that retest. It's the same idea we've been saying. You would see this pierce above and then you'd look for that thinning for that continuation idea to occur. It's kind of like our baby dragon. You got that double bottom goodness, W formation idea. Shoulder, big head, shoulder out of here. Gotta see that push on the same time frames with the 3 time frame overlap. Does anybody have anything to look at? USDT dominance, smart idea. Let's look at USDT dominance. Are people going to get kicked into USDT is the question. Let's get out of this, out of this. So the previous idea we were talking about before Sunday was here with the rocket ship. We were talking about people possibly getting kicked out into USDT with the drop. And this was on Friday, April 14th. And we started to see that rocket ship take off as the dominance went up and people got knocked out into their stop loss, into profit for most likely for longs or the liquidated shorts, either way, back to USDT from their position. So where do we stand now? The 4-hour is oversold, 15-minute oversold, hourly also oversold, and it looks like you could be possibly attempting to W formation to continue on a second leg up. Let's look at that hourly play. Let me take off the overlap stochastic to look at it in its current time frame glory. All right. So we're kind of getting this ambiguous meandering around the Keltner channels between each one and consolidating nicely, but the clouds are thinning on both ends. We are coming back currently to kiss the cloud. Is that to continue similar to what we just put out for Matic, which would insinuate the dominance going up of people getting knocked into USDT. Let's go to the 4-hour. Currently having a cross down event with 6 time frames overbought, and we gave back the stochastic juice. Probability came back in our favor while we went sideways. So this suggests with the money flow being beneath the RSI that the 4-hour time frame wants to bang you to the upside on the USDT dominance, which means a lot of people getting knocked into USDT from this idea. But one thing to keep note of is that Williams suppression idea here. So the Williams is potentially opening up on you, and you have the baselines going against you as well over here. So you got the baselines crossing down and suppressing the price, quote unquote, the dominance percent. But that money flow coming down low, possibly to kick you to the upside here. The previous idea, there's a lot of fair value gaps over here to come back to over here. So not out of the realm of possibility. Let's go to the hourly time frame. Starting to come down on that hourly time frame as you met with resistance here. Ambiguous on the crossovers, although they do give back some percent for those scalpers out there. So New York is the 15-minute resetting to create this cup and handle to go up here. That is the question. Let's go to the 12-hour and see how that stands in conjunction. So it's the opposite of Bitcoin. The 12-hour is overbought, attempting to possibly double top, which would push you up, as opposed to come down here. If you fail this 12-hour time frame in 11 hours, so that's a long time for this to play out the entire New York session. If the entire New York session closes beneath this point, this will cross down on you, similar to this, which will ensue with dominance where this enters, where USDT gets put into trades. So could this come down here, or is it going to double top up? You're overbought on the Williams and overbought on the stochastic. Money flow above the RSI. So the 12-hour could fatigue here after doing maybe an extended double M here, like that. How far up does it go? That is the question. If it does do the double top at all, or just turn down and dump back down here. So if you get something similar to this, we did break above the adaptive moving average here. So coming back to retest it would not necessarily be a bad thing. Coming back to this idea here with a cloud kiss, as we do. When you do break above the cloud and it starts to thin, you do come back and kiss the cloud. So coming back to this ATR region could be an idea here, which would suggest USDT getting entered into something, and it would still go on that path of kicking people to the upside. So the thing we look for is if we are going to continue higher. We did break the structure here, so retracing into this region would be something to note. Where would that put us? Down in this 618 region. If we retrace down into that, then you can see that proper bounce up to here. So the 12-hour being overbought here is something to note. Let's look at the 22, also overbought. So it's all up to the 4-hour. It's basically the 4-hour time frame on a lot of things right now. The 4-hour dump on BTC being staved off or curved by the hourly. Is getting suppressed by the higher time frame or not. It looks like they're exactly inverse of one another. So something to note for that retrace, for the potential for the idea of going up on the USDT dominance. So we're currently coming back into this. This is setting up for the New York session. Let's get out of this. So similar to how we break out of the cloud thins, we come back, we kiss it, we look for that support here. And this would coincide most likely with like 100x people that they're trying to come back to get. These late longers up here at the top. And if they can knock out some of these longs, then they will see a order block hit. And all of these things are fractal in nature. So you could come back down to this region and try to find that bullish order block in here if you're feeling it. But we're at ambiguous levels with the stochastic on the 5-minute here. And looking at the 15 also overbought with the money flow above price, so the 15-minute is going to come down and chill out here, similar to the dollar. Looking like you're getting that rejection of the cloud if you reclaim it. So that hourly cloud rejection just a moment ago, cloud starting to shift to purple. So I'm not getting a clear beat on the price necessarily. It's being very ambiguous. It's basically the 4-hour time frame and the ambiguous 15-minute versus the 12-hour and the hourly right now, plus the 6-hour looming overhead. So the idea of going sideways here and this getting overbought is not a very good sign, if you will. There's nothing necessarily stepping up to bring the price. This overbought kind of idea is bearish at the moment. So looking at the 1 minute time frame, you do see these pools up above, but once again, this 30 billion down here looks mighty juicy. So I would wait for a possible liquidity grab to the downside for a long position based on the monthly, 3 month, and 6 month time frames. Something to think about. But you could see this short squeeze. I just like to see the short squeeze for this purpose alone. Just get out the 50x pool up here, and then you can go hit the 27. That makes most sense to me. Go up to here and then hit that pool. Fake everyone out that a W formation was in effect, and then go hit the lows. All right, well, that's about it for today. I don't want to take a second more of your time. You got to get ready, get that coffee. I got to clean it off my keyboard now. But let's go get ready for NASDAQ, shall we? Once again, thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we will catch you on the flip side. Peace.